Welcome back to Mad Minds, everyone. It's our podcast here at Mad Social Agency where we chat with some of the maddest minds over at Mad Social, which is a creative agency specializing in marketing strategy, content creation, and social media management based here in Winnipeg. So this is episode number 3. I am the host, as always, Lyss Houde. I'm a social media manager here at Mad, and today I am interviewing our head of operations, Bailey, who is one of the first people I ever met at Mad, and I'm super stoked to get to have this conversation with her today. Bailey, welcome to Mad Minds. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good. I'm so glad. This is so fun. We can chat a little bit, but Bailey is one of the first people that I knew that worked at Mad, and I had seen, stuff that she'd been doing and everything, so she was the first person that I reached out to when I was interested in getting started here. So we go way back to even before my time here, but to get started, we are going to do a little bit of a Mad Minute round. So we do this every episode just because I've done lots and lots of podcasts in my time, and oftentimes as we kind of progress through the episode, people start to get more comfortable as we get talking a little bit more, and you'd be surprised at how kind of just getting some free-flowing questions out of the way first is actually going to help you feel a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to have some fun with it. I picked a couple ones that I think would be fun for you, so I'm going to start a timer for a minute on my phone. I'm just going to rapid fire a bunch of questions. Are you ready?
Yep, ready.
All right, let's do it. Okay, pink or purple?
Pink.
Pink. Can you juggle?
No.
Name one of the sub-brands of Aritzia. One of their
Babaton.
Love it. Spell your name backwards.
Yeliab.
Good job. I wrote that down just in case. Lemon or lime?
Lemon.
Rank Harry Styles albums from favorite to least favorite.
Oh, I don't know the name.
Okay, we'll do another one. What's a flower that can be blue? Name any flower that can be blue.
Tulip.
Yeah, totally. Name one of the women from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Taylor.
Have you ever gone to see a live play before?
A play?
Like a play? Like ever? Theater? Anything ever?
I don't know. No.
Can you name a country in Africa?
No.
Any country in Africa?
God.
Can you name any country in Africa?
No.
None.
On the spot. Take us out. I failed geography.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Name one color on a Rubik's Cube.
Red.
There you go. Perfect. You did great.
Did I pass? No.
No. There's no failing or passing in this one. This is all in good fun. And now you've answered more questions than most people would in their first minute of being on a podcast.
Okay.
So it means you're ready to get into the more interesting stuff. So to get started, I told everyone that you're the head of operations here at Mad. What does that mean? What do you do? Tell us about what your days look like and what your job actually is kind of here at the agency.
Yeah. I always have the same answer, and people ask me that. I say a lot of random things. I realize it's probably not the best answer. But in a nutshell, making sure everything runs smoothly, every day runs smoothly, the shoots go smooth, everyone's doing their job. Onboarding is a big thing. Just client relations, communication, a lot of everything. Every day is completely different.
Yeah, I'm glad you used the word communication because I feel like you're talking to everyone all the time.
Yeah.
If you had to either bucket it or guess it, whatever, do you mostly talk to internal people, external people? Is it editors? Is it managers? Who do you talk to the most, or is it literally just a wide bucket of all kinds of different people?
Probably managers.
Okay.
Maddie, mostly. We're chatting all day. And Sue. We talk a lot in our bookkeeping chat.
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes, probably every hour I go on WhatsApp and just see if there's anything I need to attend to and then respond there.
Nice. Okay, and WhatsApp is where mostly all your client group chats and stuff?
Yeah.
How many client group chats are you in? Is your WhatsApp a nightmare?
Probably close to 100.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. And it's nuts too because I think about I'm just one of many managers, and Bailey will pop in and contribute whenever it's someone's got an administrative question, a billing question. Bailey's right there before I even have to tag her. Oh my gosh, these are just my clients, never mind everyone else's. But how long have you been with Mad now? A few years.
About 4 years.
About 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's been a while. How did you find this organization, this role? How did you kind of get started?
During COVID, I found Maddie on TikTok. I was just scrolling. She was making funny videos, and I saw that she had a business, and I emailed her, and then she emailed me back saying she wasn't hiring, and then a month later she told me she was hiring, and then I started as a social media manager.
Oh, no way. So what were some of the accounts that you would do? What industries were you doing accounts in?
Restaurants,
Oh, yeah.
bars, clothing, personal brands, a lot of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that still rings true today. Like,
Yes.
I think people ask me that all the time, and I'm like, I will list off like all kinds of different things from like real estate to retail and all this different stuff. It's like different business types. Like some of them are more business to business, some of them are business to consumer. Like they're all different stuff, and it's like literally we do everything, and I feel like that's half the fun. But what do you like the most about working here? And obviously 4 years, especially when you're as young as we are, and you know, university season and early career stuff, like it's pretty common for people to switch up what they're doing and switch around. So 4 years is a while. Why have you stuck around, and what do you like so much about what we do here?
I always say every day is different, and that's what I like. I don't think I could be the type of person who sits at a cubicle all day. I don't think I'd be enjoying it. I don't think I'd be creative in that space. So yeah, I kind of started when I was in university, and I would do my social media manager work in classes and not pay attention in class, and that's when I kind of realized that's what I want to be doing. And sorry, what was the question?
But just what you like about it.
Yeah,
like what you're...
all that for sure. The team, obviously, like everyone's like my close friend now. Like I have so many more friends than I did before just with the team, and I think we've built like an amazing team, and we're all great people, so that's definitely up there.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like the team component, like even something as simple as what we're doing today, like we're filming here at Maddie's house, and like Aiden's behind the camera, he's hanging out with us, always having fun. Blaze comes up to check on how everyone's doing. We're chatting, we're having fun. We're like, oh, we got work to do, but it's always such a great environment to kind of be a part of, and you guys do a really good job too at like, you know, integrating new people when they come, and people become part of that environment really, really quickly, and so it's been lots and lots of fun. And I mean, culture drivers always have to be the people kind of starts at the top down, so it's fun that, you know, you and Maddie have prioritized that so much, and, you know, created the environment that you would thrive in, and other people thrive in it too, which is always so fun. I know that, you know, in your role, like you said, you have to do all kinds of different things, and the big thing that when I think of you, I always think about how organized you are, in the sense of how many different things are on your plate and how much of it is reliant on really articulate touch points, making sure things are getting done in a timely manner and stuff. And I remember early on when we were chatting with Maddie, talking a little bit about the whole idea of like procrastination, and she talked about how you guys have bonded over the fact that you're like, that's not me. Like, I don't procrastinate. Like, that's not what I do. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, things as simple as like, you text back so fast. It's a running joke within the company that, you know, Bailey's gonna answer your Slack message before you've even hit send or whatever kind of thing. And so what's kind of the mindset around not letting things pile up for you, whether it's something as tactical and physical as messages, but even bigger scheme, like in terms of your workload and everything like that?
Yeah, I think I'm the opposite of a procrastinator. Like, it pains me if a message sitting and I know that I could be answering it, but I'm doing something else. So I always like answer my messages and then move on to the next thing, because I know someone's waiting for that response and it could make them do something faster. So I always try and be super quick with that.
How do you manage that when, like, because I know sometimes like you have your text open or whatever, people keep pinging and pinging and pinging, and it's like if you wanted to like even lock in for like 30 minutes, I guarantee in the last 2 years that you haven't gone 30 minutes without getting a text message like in consecutive. So how do you kind of balance that when you're trying to lock in but also trying to manage that?
I don't know. It's just
even
like
as simple
my
as this,
routine.
we're gonna finish off here, and you're gonna have text messages waiting for you. How are you feeling right now? You're not answering text messages.
It doesn't
right
even
now.
stress me out, honestly. Like I just know my priority of things, and like every day we send our task lists in our group chat, and I also write them down in my Monday.com board, so I always kind of know what I need to be doing. And by the end of the day, if I didn't finish that, then I'll finish that. And I am very organized, but it doesn't mean that I don't have like a million tabs open at once, and I'm extremely scatterbrained, and I always forget to do things too, just like everyone else. We're human. But at the end of the day, I always go back to my list and I make sure that I completed everything that I say I'm going to do.
Are you a good multitasker?
Yes,
yeah,
extremely.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, because that's the one thing. It's like if you're a good multitasker, it's not too bad to like be answering messages in the middle of a task. Because some people, how their brains work, it's like they start on a task and then if they get distracted from it for a second, it's difficult for them to jump back to it. Are you kind of the opposite of that?
Opposite, yeah.
Totally.
I can watch a show, read a book, do on my phone all at the same time, and I'm still paying attention to all of it.
Yeah, totally. I feel you. I always joke that people sometimes make jokes about being born in the wrong generation. Not me. I'm like, I was born to have 3 screens, phone, computer, and TV on. Best day ever. But when you talk about like being organized and stuff, like you said, like we're all human. We, have things we forget. We have imperfect stuff. Yeah, my Google Chrome, the windows and tabs, tabs within Windows, and it's just like multiple layers. I totally hear you. But one thing that's interesting about your job is not only do you have to keep yourself organized, but you're also, a huge part of what you do is keeping other people organized, like, managing Aiden's calendar and all this different stuff that you're kind of constantly doing. And is there a difference between your mindset when you have to kind of organize your life versus organizing other people, or is there a lot of similarities between that?
I'd say I care more about how other people are. Like, I know at the end of the day I'm going to get my work done no matter how it happens, so I'm not really worried about myself, but I like to hold other people accountable for it. Like, if I'm doing something and something comes to mind, I'll add it to my task list, like, right there, no matter if I'm standing in Superstore or out for dinner. I'll just add it there, and I know that I'll text the person, hold them accountable for that. Also, like, we have a great calendar system. Like, I can see when you're in a meeting, you can see when I'm in a meeting, stuff like that. So, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I know that systems, I feel like, is a big word that we use a lot kind of internally, and I'd love to hear you expand a bit more on that, because like, we're all human. So when you have those different sort of fail safes that allow, if you forget, it's like, oh, but you have these reminders set up, or you have these other things set up, kind of those fail safes are always valuable. So talk about some of the systems that you, whether it's create or set up or administer on a day-to-day to kind of try and keep everyone else organized. Yeah, I feel like by now I kind of know how everyone likes to work. So I know with this person to, like, text them. I know with this person to add to their task list. With this person, maybe I send them an email or send them a text. I know, like, how every single person wants to work, and I cater how I work towards them. So I think that's something special about Matt. I don't think a lot of workplaces would change things for each person. So yeah, like, personally, Maddie always adds to my Monday.com board, and that's, like, I live on there. And, like, for example, Blaze lives on his calendar, and a lot of other people too. So yeah, it's more how, like, I cater to everyone else kind of thing, and make sure that we're doing what everyone else, make sure they're working in the best way possible for them.
And I feel like you hear about that a lot when it comes to, like, different leadership and stuff like that, where people will have their own leadership styles, but then you have to learn that perhaps the team that you're managing doesn't, respond to that type of leadership as well, and how are you going to manage that? And so obviously, we're all pretty young over here, so the whole idea of having 30 years of management experience before getting into a role like this is kind of a non-factor. But is this your first role that you've ever had where you've had to manage people? It's like your first kind of management role. It's not surprising considering how long you've been here and how old you are. Do some math. Yeah. What was that like, kind of getting into more of a leadership role, really, and management of other people?
Yeah, so I started as social media manager. It was just Maddie and I and a couple other contractors. And I basically just shadowed Maddie for multiple years, saw exactly what she did, and kind of became the same, like, kind of leader that she was. And one day she's like, oh, do you want to be our head of social? And I'm like, yeah, sure, here we go. So I just kind of started hopping in projects like she did, and just kind of following how she led, and that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I think that, especially, having been here for a decent chunk of time now, you can see how, like, the more time you'd spend in the organization, the easier it would get to kind of understand the different functions, and whether it's the verticals or kind of the more cross-functional stuff, I think makes a lot of sense that it's a little easier to manage that all when you've seen it and been in it in different capacities. But something that's interesting about how our team is kind of set up is that, we have some folks who are full-time, and within that there are hourly folks, there are salaried folks, and then we have people who are part-time employees, then we have contractors who work different types of hours and in different components, we have editors and videographers and different people like that. What's it kind of like managing that, like, all that different components of kind of what those people look like? Because when it comes to something as basic and straightforward as billing, it's actually not basic and straightforward because there are so many layers to it. So what's it kind of like managing all that?
Yeah, that's, like, a newer part for me, because at first we were all contractors, including myself. So I kind of just went over invoices, and there was a lot of payroll sheets, and I go over them, I approve them all, which took, like, a big chunk of time. And now that some people are full-time, I have a lot more time and less time doing payroll. And I think that now that a lot of us are full-time, we're a closer knit group. I know exactly what you're going to be doing when. I know when you're going to be free. We can book, like, team hangouts and stuff like that. And then with contractors, I've had some tough times for sure. Like, the videographer, let's say something didn't go well, they send their invoice, I need to negotiate a little bit. It's that part has been a learning curve, and it's sometimes tough to like approach an issue like that. But contractors are also less risky. Full-time members, it's also more stressful. So there's pros and cons to everything, and I think we have a good system going now, but obviously there's tough times.
Yeah, no, for sure. Are there certain roles that you find that are a little bit, I don't know if easier is the right word. I don't always like using that word and throwing it around because everything comes with its own challenges, but are there certain roles that are a little bit more heavily populated by contractors than others, and you found that certain ones are easier to manage in-house, certain ones are easier to contract out, or what's kind of the split there in terms of functions?
Yeah, social media managers are probably best to be like hourly or full-time, just because it's easier that way to track your hours and stuff like that and be paid in a fair way. Then with editors, I think contractor makes the most sense. They're invoicing us or they use our payroll sheet because there's not too much back and forth. It's not very wishy-washy. It's like you edit a video, there you go. And then with videographers, it's kind of the same way. They send us their invoice and we approve it, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I feel like it's kind of, in a way, but not exactly. Kind of like when you talk about hiring an agency versus hiring in-house. Like there's pros and cons for sure. And like we acknowledge that certain people, organizations, businesses, nonprofits, whatever, are better suited for agencies than others, and some are better suited to hire in-house. And it really kind of depends. But I think one of the more interesting parts of, you know, what you do and stuff that I think is so applicable across, you know, whether it's the types of clients we work with, other agencies, or just the kind of workforce in general, is the whole idea of troubleshooting and you know, every single day working with different challenges, you know, internally, externally, everything like that. People come to you at our company with issues all day, every day and stuff. What are some of the main things that you've learned about, you know, managing, whether it's conflict or problems or things that come up, and kind of keeping a calm demeanor, managing problems? Maybe start with something like, as you know, client issues, for example, and how you've kind of learned to manage that properly.
Yeah, at first, when I first started, that was something I was not good at. I would get so stressful. It would get so stressful. Sometimes I would cry. Sometimes I would get all like sweaty. And like if you made a mistake, then you have to own up to it. And like there's so many mistakes we can make with this job, especially spelling, posting something the wrong way, whatever it is. When I started, SMM was still pretty new, I feel like.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of margin for error, honestly, in this type of field. Just being online, there's so much pressure.
Oh yeah.
But I think Maddie and I both learned that like we can take time to think about what happened before kind of snapping and texting and be like, I'm so sorry. Something Maddie and I both preach is, instead of saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry, it's good catch, or thank you so much for letting me know this, I'll do better next time. Instead of just being, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, which is something that took me a long time to learn. And I'm still like that. I still say sorry all the time when I should just be saying like, good catch, do better next time. And then with employee problems, that's also, you asked that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's also a tough one that Maddie and I have had to learn lots. We've had every issue under the sun probably. But yeah, putting ourselves in their shoes, and then that usually helps me figure out like a plan. And something about us is that we're very open, and we will switch any system for you. If you come with us with an idea or a problem, we will do anything in our power to make you happy and do the best work you can.
How did you develop that kind of type? Is it just simply like having a relationship build over time and stuff with Maddie? Because you talk about the client issues, the internal issues, a lot of it does include layers of getting a second opinion or talking to someone about it and kind of working and collaborating with other people within the organization to kind of make it happen. Like, that's not always easy to do, right? No. Like, some people want to, you know, shut down and keep things inside when they screw up because they don't want others to think that they're, you know, not capable of handling stuff or everything like that. Like, how do you develop a relationship where it feels like there's benefit across the board for, you know, coming to someone with a problem and working through it together?
Yeah, that's a good question. We always try and make people feel comfortable, like, and learn from their mistakes. That's the biggest thing. Like, someone called me recently, they got a shoot date messed up, and they were very worried about it and thought I'd be upset with them or whatever. And I was like, no, just let's do better next time. Let's see where we went wrong and what happened. And then we went back in the group chat, see where it went wrong, went to the calendar, and then next time I know that person will never make that mistake again. So there's no really a reason to get super upset when you know that you can do better next time.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that, especially in this space, and like, there's a balance every single day, and some people need to hear, like, kind of the analogy that I always give is it's like, hey, if someone, you know, their arm got cut off and someone broke their arm, sometimes the person who broke their arm, depending on who it is, needs to hear, hey, it's okay, your arm is broken, so it's allowed to hurt. Like, you don't have to just look at that person and say, well, they're missing theirs, like, mine can't hurt. But then some people need to be told, hey, man, there are some people out there missing their arms, you know what I mean? Like, kind of acknowledge where you're at and where you have. And I think when problems come up in our space, we tend to need the reminder that, hey, like, nobody's gonna die. This is marketing. Exactly. Like, this is, you know, this is a space where, like, you know, we take things seriously, and everyone, I think, who lasts at this organization has that, you know, baseline of we take this 112% seriously, kind of thing. And so sometimes a little bit of a reminder that it's like, hey, like, it's okay that you clicked the wrong link on the calendar and booked for 2 hours instead of 3, and, you know, we'll find a way to work through it.
We always try and make it work.
100%.
As long as you learn from it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I think that how you deliver that communication on your side is huge too, right? Because sometimes, you know, if people feel like they're getting yelled at or, you know, getting in trouble, they don't want to even try again, right? Yeah. So I think it's important to have that. But I think one thing that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, and something that I love about just work in general, is that when people come into jobs, they oftentimes have a role, they have a title, they have a this, they have a that, whatever. But outside of that, they're also a person. And, you know, you have your job tasks that you're doing every single day, but you also get to bring your own perspectives and experiences and things that make you to your job and stuff. And so I want to talk about some of the things that, you know, I've seen that are respective to you as a person, but you find a way to bring them into the work that we do. So I know one thing for you is that you have a passion for, like, fashion and jewelry and everything kind of style related. That something that I do not have. It's not something that we share. That's okay. But tell me a little bit about when you started kind of getting into fashion and how that became something that is really interesting to you.
Yeah, I'd say during COVID was when, like, TikTok kind of became big, and I always saw, like, girls on TikTok, and it was like, oh my God, I can, like, actually try, like, more about clothes and see people have different styles and personal style, and one day you can dress in one style, the next day you can dress in another style. Then I realized online shopping existed during COVID, and that's when everything started for me. I realized my debit card could actually make purchases online, and I'd spend my online classes, like, scrolling Pinterest, putting together outfits in my head, and then friends started to ask for help, family, so it just kind of came from there. And I'd say, like, it's the same to this day. Like, Pinterest and TikTok are still where I learn trends, and I think every day you can dress differently and you don't need your own style necessarily.
Do you shop online a lot?
Yeah.
Are you a shopper? Yeah. No, I totally get that. One of my, I don't know if I ever told you this, but this year I go to a lot of hockey games, and I have to wear like business professional clothes at hockey games, and I went to, I think, something like 40 or so hockey games this year. Not a single outfit repeat.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty proud. Lots of repeated pieces and everything like that, but yeah, no full outfit repeat. So I was very proud of that. I was like, Bailey would be proud of me for this. But how do you find that as, like, that interest and that passion kind of relates to work sometimes? Like, do you find that there are ways that you can kind of bring that, whether it's to clients or internally and stuff like that? Like, talk about how that kind of has impacted your job.
Yeah, I'd say before the first shoot, most clients ask, like, oh, what do I wear? My answer is the same every single time, whatever you're comfortable in. Everyone's comfortable in different things. Some people it's workout clothes, some people it's business casual or whatever. And then I've also had, like, the team asking me for help. Like, Maddie and I go shopping to Aritzia, and she lets me style her. It's a lot of fun. So, I mean, I'm thankful that people think I have good style and let me help them. But yeah, with clients too, like, people ask, and I'm happy to help them and send me a few options, and I'll help you pick or bring all three, change a couple times during the shoot. But my answer is the same every time, whatever you're comfortable in. And I always say, don't do anything drastic. Don't do, like, if you've never worn makeup, don't wear makeup during a shoot. Or vice versa. So it's really about being yourself.
No, that makes so much sense, because I think the big thing is that, like, a lot of people aren't super comfortable in front of a camera. And, like, you can get there if you get more exposure to it, but just generally speaking, like, even though we're in a little bit of a different time now than we were once upon a time, like, and people have their phones out all the time. When you have a big chunk of camera in front of you, whether it's, you know, the light setup or whatever you got going on, like, a lot of people already feel a little bit different than they do in their day-to-day life. So, you know, you stack that with wearing these tight clothes that don't fit you properly that you've never worn before, or like you're like itching your eyelash because you have a fake one stuck to it and it's not working. You know, I know exactly what you mean. And like, I think that's huge to communicate that with clients, because a lot of them want to, oh, I'm in front of a camera, so I should get my hair done, and I should do this, or I should wear these nice clothes. But I think, the authenticity of socials, I think, can be communicated through what you're wearing and other things like that, which is so cool. But I know that, in your role, you've now become so operational with a lot of what you're doing, but you in days like today, have to be in front of the camera still, whether it's some client content, doing this sort of stuff, Mad brand content and stuff like that. How have you kind of started to become a little bit more accustomed to being in front of a camera? I know it's still not your favorite thing in the world, but what's kind of been your thought process over the last 4 years of kind of getting more acclimatized to being in front of one?
Like if 2 years ago me saw me today, I'd be very surprised, but I still think I have a long way to go. I mean, I look at some clients, I look at Maddie and some of our other social media managers. I don't know how they do it. I still get nervous, but I think honestly, like what I was saying before, if you wear a good outfit and you're feeling good about yourself, I think that goes a long way, and I recommend that to our clients too. We just want them to feel our best. And I have a long way to go still, but I think I'll get there one day.
For sure, yeah. I think one thing that's kind of cool about what we do and here at the agency is that sometimes when you have to be on camera, it's like an added bonus that it's for a really fun thing. You know, it's
exactly.
Like you're in front of a camera because you're getting to do a cool experience and stuff. So maybe it's kind of one of my last questions in this sort of bucket of conversation is, tell me about some of the cool things you've done, whether it's fun client shoots or fun clients you've worked with, industries you've been in, or things that you've gotten to do through this role that have been new experiences for you.
There's so many. I mean, number one is the people, the clients that we've met. We've made friends with clients, and our team that we've created at MAD, like, couldn't have picked better people to work with than some projects that I'm like proud of. Maddie and I went to Toronto a few years ago for a market that was our client. We had an amazing time, obviously. Like, it was our first kind of work trip together, so it was fun, like, getting closer and then also working at this market. And we saw, like, all of our branding and everything we did there, so that was crazy to see. Also, some of our work with Pizza that we did, our first shoot. First time I met Aiden, so that was a lot of fun. Back in the day, I had a clothing brand. I loved that. I went to like shoots and I got some free clothes and had a lot of fun. Yes, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
There's so many.
That's
some
so
great
fun.
clients.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. I feel like we attract a certain type of employee, and we also attract a certain type of client to a degree, right? Like, there's so many people who enjoy working with us that kind of have that same vibe and they bring to the function, which is so much fun. But I kind of only have one more real question for you today that we kind of use to wrap up all of our episodes. We're kind of getting to the end of our chat, but I think one thing that's so fun about, what we do and the conversations we have and the work that we work on every single day is that we're in a changing space, and it's a very, I don't even want to say under-researched space, because it's researched so well all the time, because social media especially influences everything that everyone does, but then it changes 30 seconds from now and then again 30 seconds later. And so it's a neat space to kind of learn and grow every single day and understand that what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow, which is kind of crazy. But that's why this last question that I asked Maddie in episode 1, I asked Aiden in episode 2, and I'm going to ask you now is just if you have a hot take that you want to share about whether it's your specific job, the industry we're in, clients you work with, or your own journey that you think would be really helpful or interesting for others to kind of leave your mad mark, if you will, on this episode about kind of where things are going to go from here.
Yeah. I have one that's more about like life in general. I think
love it.
When we're younger and we're like going to university, deciding what we're going to do with our lives, we have like one job in mind. And I think when you're aiming for that one job, you may miss the job that could be perfect for you. Like, I always had an idea of what I wanted to do, but if I never messaged Maddie, I wouldn't have the perfect job that was made for me, literally. Like, Maddie's like, what do you want to do? And I'm doing it. So I just want people to not aim for like one thing and make sure you stop along the way and see.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's huge. Like, kind of putting the blinders on too early or too much with any particular thing can really limit you, and you don't know what you don't like, you don't know what you do like until you kind of get to experience it all. And if you only focus all the way through on one set thing and say no to too much, you
Exactly.
miss learning a lot about yourself, and that's huge, and that's a great way to kind of end off this episode. This has been so much fun. I hope you had fun. I know you were kind of stressed about doing this sort of thing, but we chat all the time, and like I said to Aiden last time we did an episode, like I said to Maddie, we talk all the time. This is just us talking. There just happens to be a lot more lighting kind of going on than our regular conversations, and you can probably see my pores a little bit better than you normally can, and that's all. But we put out these episodes on our Mad social media page all the time. We're posting these on YouTube. We're posting them everywhere that you listen to podcasts, and we have all kinds of fun content over here on the YouTube channel. So if you stuck around all the way through, we thank you so much for listening to this episode of Mad Minds. It was a ton of fun to record, so I hope it was a ton of fun to listen to as well. We have lots more content where this came from, lots more interviews coming, so thank you for sticking around. Make sure you subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff to let YouTube know that you're enjoying our content, and we will see you next time.